Hey, what is going on, guys? I'm here with a video to talk about something that's probably on a lot of folks' mind. If you clicked on this video, obviously by the title, on one of the Ranger Overland groups, someone called me a liar, and they said basically, hey, I saw you had a photo of your Starlink on top of your truck camping in the middle of the woods, and you must have done it for clout. Whatever reason, it's not true, you're a liar, you probably had no signal. I basically responded, I said, hey man, I had 16 to about 40 megs down all weekend. And you know, the big thing with that is a lot of the videos that I researched, because I just picked up the Starlink about a week and a half ago, and a lot of the things that I researched in terms of you know, how well does Starlink work, a lot of the videos that came up were RV folks, which obviously we all know if you do use Starlink in a wide open space, it works absolutely fantastic. And in wide open spaces, you have a clear view of the northern sky. And if you have a clear view of the northern sky, you'll be able to see and track these Starlink satellites as they pass by, and you should have no problems. Now, the question that is probably on a lot of folks' mind when it comes to camping or overlanding is, does Starlink work under the trees? And the answer, from what I found out this past weekend, the answer was yes, it does work. Now, no, it doesn't give you the full 140 megs down, but it does give you a good usable service out in the middle of nowhere. Now, the spot that we camp at, this part of North Georgia, is pretty littered with trees. Now, when I say littered with trees, and the spot that we're going really replicates that type of tree cover. I would say, you know, you have a small, when you look above into the sky, you have a small gap that has a view of the clear sky. It's not completely wide open. You're surrounded by trees. I did put, if you look in this picture, I did put the Starlink right on top of my roam box, which is what I'm going to be doing for this test. And I'm going to show you guys, you know, real time, what the process looks like as far as unboxing, well, not unboxing, I got a bag for my Starlink, undoing my Starlink, plugging it up to power, putting the antenna up, and showing you guys the type of signal that I get under tree cover. Now, all the other videos that I saw of people trying to run Starlink, you know, from their homes out in the forest, they do put them on the roof, they do put them, you know, on poles, or they mount them at the very top of a tree, which obviously, if that is your only form of internet access, that is highly recommended. That's a good thing to do, right? That's going to give you your clearest view with zero obstructions. Now, when it comes to obstructions, yes, they're on the Starlink app. It will show you. I'm going to show you guys when I get to where I'm going to test this. It's going to show you that there's obstructions, and it's going to tell you you're going to experience service interruptions. You do experience service interruptions, but when it comes to texting, browsing social media, posting on social media, even watching some YouTube or Reels, or calling a loved one, it still does work. Now, it's not going to be super high speed, but it works. And for our purpose, I didn't buy just Starlink to be on my phone all weekend, right? We know we do have family members that are older. We do have other loved ones that we do want to keep in touch with, you know, if something does occur, right? You know, I think that is a very realistic thing to say, in terms of, you know, a lot of people are like, well, why would you want to be away from signals, you want to be away from your phone, you know, you don't want to go to camp and be inundated with work emails, right? You know, we're all adults, we can mute notifications, you know, we can silence our work stuff. You should obviously have that self-control as an adult, a living, breathing adult, to control what you intake and filter out when you are, you know, off the clock, right? But the flip side is, in this connected society, when it comes to staying in touch with people in terms of emergencies that you may have, emergencies that your loved ones may have. It does provide you a lot of peace of mind when you're out in somewhere where you would have no connection to any of those folks or society at all. So I think there are drawbacks, and I think there's a lot of pros in terms of having connected service when you're out and about. And you know, I'll be honest, right? You know, not everybody, when everybody is different, right? Everybody's needs are different. If that is something that you don't want to have at camp, that is completely your right. It's just those people that they either don't like seeing other people enjoying things, and they've got to interject their opinions based on how they would tend to enjoy themselves when they are off the clock. So anyways, so with that being said, you know, this video is purely for the folks that are asking themselves, hey, does Starlink work when I'm under a decent amount of tree cover out in the woods? Will I be able to get anything so that I can send texts or do anything on my phone? So let's get to that site, and let's go ahead and test these things out. I am going to be testing basically something very similar to our setup at camp. And as you can see, we have trees all around us. We have some thicker trees here. We got a really big tree overhanging here. Most of the trees up in North Georgia have no leaves, so we have some obstructions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Starlink app, and we're going to do the obstructions test. Now, right here it says, all right, select your Starlink. It's the standard. Find an open area, and we're going to scan the sky. All right, so we're going to scan. It's going to show that there's obstructions. Let's see, view results. So let's take a look at the results. Estimated obstructions. All right, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of obstructions here. This is definitely not an optimal thing. It says obstructions at this location may cause interruptions with streaming video, web browsing, video calls, and online gaming. Now, like I said, this video is not purely for, hey, can I get high-speed internet? This is basically showing you what the guy said was that I'm a liar and I did not have any service. I indicated that I had 15 or about 16 to 40 megs down when I had obstructed views, very similar to this tree line. As you can see, I'm walking around, I have a lot of obstructions. So let me go ahead. I still have all my stuff from camp this weekend. Now this bag is the bag that I use for storing my Starlink, and I'll see if I can, if you're interested in finding, if you're interested in using this bag for Starlink, I'll try to find it in Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description of this bag. Let me pull out this cable. All right, so to set up Starlink, it's pretty simple. I'm gonna turn on my inverter in the back, grab my power brick back here, and this is a 200 amp hour lithium setup that I use for power while I'm out. Let's take this base out, and I'm going to put it on top of my Roam case like I had it in the photo. So to install the Starlink, there's only two cables. The cable that plugs into the router, and you've got the cable that plugs into power itself. So let me go ahead, put this up on top of the Roam case, install the base. Put this up here. A nice little secure spot. All right. Now let's go ahead and take the router out. Looks like a home router, nothing crazy. So what I want to do is plug in the Starlink first. Make sure it's oriented properly. You don't want to jam the Starlink in the wrong position. You don't want to jam the plug in the wrong position. All right, power. Let's go plug the power in. All right, let's go ahead and plug it in. All right, power is on. Now the Starlink is calculating orientation. Says it's talking to the satellite to determine which way it's pointing. All right, guys, so Starlink is connected, and as you can see, it's shooting through the trees, and obviously you can see around the truck. We're surrounded by trees and branches, and there you can see the Starlink dish spinning, and it just cleared the Wii Boost. Look at that. Okay, cool. And it is pointing. If you take a look, it says the most optimal point is pointing through that tree line. So this is very indicative of kind of what it looked like to camp. The trees were a little bit taller, but you get the idea. It is still under a lot of tree cover. Now, let's go ahead and open the app back up, and let's do a speed test. So let's see. We are online. Let's conduct a speed test under the tree cover. We are getting 30 megs, 40 megs, 48, 50 megs, 28 millisecond latency, 60 megs a second, pointing directly through the trees, 66 megs a second, and 12 megabits upload. Now, like I said, that is not going to be the peak speed that you can get with Starlink with a clear open view of the sky. But if we look right here, let me make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing right here. We are pointing right through that tree. Now, I'm going to take a picture because when you're looking at it from the POV cam, it's very, it's not as obvious. It gives you a weird sense of perception. Now, if we look at it on the cam, I'm going to put this photo on the screen right now, and it shows you that the satellite dish is pointing through my Wii Boost. So that obstruction, this is a really good example. That Wii Boost is obstructing the bottom part of that dish. It's pointing to the tree line itself, through the trees, all those limbs, and I'm still getting 60 megs down. So that should give you an idea that there is a certain tolerance that you will still be able to get some sort of signal. Now, if the tree line was filled with like leaves, if this was in the middle of the summer, which I don't summer camp, obviously your speeds will probably be lower. If it's completely obstructed, you probably won't get any signal, but most tree lines are not as thick up here in North Georgia to where you will have that problem. So I hope this video is helpful to show you guys that are, that do go off-roading a bit, go camping, overlanding, whatever you want to call it, and you are considering a Starlink. Now, let me talk to you about the price. Now, the price to get into this was $599 for the Starlink system, and then it's $150 a month. If you go out at least twice a month, that's $75 per weekend to have some sort of internet access. Now, is $75 a month worth it to you if you do want to have some sort of coverage to do whatever it is that you want to do? I think it's a great option to have. And obviously, if you can afford it, it's a great piece of technology to bring with you on your adventures. So hopefully this video kind of helps prove a point, helps you get some information. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. I'll try my best to answer all the questions that you guys have in terms of Starlink, how it works. And yeah, hope this video was helpful. Take it easy, guys. Bye.